What up, guys? Thanks for taking the time to check out this clip from the Air It Out Fantasy Football League podcast. Full episodes are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasting fix. So do us a favor and hit that like button. Also subscribe to the show. It is greatly appreciated. Now, check out this clip and drop us a line or two in the comments and let us know what you think.
Joe and Chantel tell you who is going to show up.
Do your job well. It could be enough to make the difference.
Who is going to show out.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
And who is going to be a shit show.
Hey, yeah. So y'all need to work out mode.
All right, here we go. Who is going to show up? Who is going to show out? And who is going to be a shit show? Wild card edition. All right, on to show out. Our top dogs here. What do you have at quarterback show out?
So you had him in the show up category. I have him to show out. I like Jaden Daniels at the Bucs to show out. So it is, and it's going to be with his arm, I think. We know how bad that Bucs secondary is. We just watched them kick, scream, crawl, fight, struggle to get into the postseason against Spencer Rattler and the Saints. So they were able to keep up and hang around all day with that Bucs defense, and then they ended up they were able to keep it within one score against them. So yeah, exactly. So we know that Jaden Daniels can throw the ball with laser precision, like we said.
Yep.
74% completion rate. He will exploit that subpar secondary for a big day. The rookie shows out on his first trip in the playoffs.
Young phenom, I agree. Yeah. I'm going to take you're not going to love this because you've been on the Pittsburgh bandwagon a little bit. Lamar Jackson, he lit the Steelers up last time they played 3 weeks ago for 3 touchdowns and 60 yards on the ground. I expect that to happen all over again. All right. Running back. So I'm staying with that Bucs Commanders game, and I'm going Bucky Irving to show out. Actually. He's had a great year.
Yeah, Bucky Irving has had an outstanding season. 1,122 rushing yards, 8 TDs, 392 receiving, while the Bucs struggle to defend the pass. On the other side of that coin, the Commanders has trouble against the run. Yeah, so that said, the Bucs are an excellent playoff team. We saw them do away with that imploding Eagles team last season in the first round. They are dangerous, and Bucky Irving has become a major weapon, I think, in that offense. So he's going to have a very good day in this matchup.
So I'm going to take, I don't know if you remember this, before Jalen Hurts got hurt, they were playing the Commanders. In the first quarter, the guy I'm about to name, Saquon Barkley, had 100 yards in the first quarter.
That's ridiculous.
And then Hurts got hurt, and then that was that. But so my guy, of course, Saquon Barkley, MVP candidate, keeps it going. He is them. They are him. As he goes, they go. If he has a good playoffs, Philly, we'll see him in the Super Bowl. If he has a bad game where somebody's managed to shut him down and keep him out of the end zone and keep him to something like 40 yards rushing or something like that, or he gets hurt, that's probably going to be it for Philly. So, but I expect him to show up. Only his, I want to say second, because I know they were in the playoffs 2 seasons ago with Dable, or maybe last year. This is only his second or third playoff game, so a chance for him to be on the big stage for Barkley.
All right,
wide receiver.
Wide receiver. So speaking of the Eagles, I went with A.J. Brown, actually, to show out in this one. So all season I have said how the Packers are an underrated defense, and they defend the run very well. I do stand by that, but the lion's share of that defensive energy is going to be going to stopping the guy you just talked about, Saquon Barkley. So the Packers are going to try to force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, beat him with the arm. The only problem is that A.J. Brown will be on the field, and the problem for the Packers is that their shutdown corner, Jair Alexander, will not. So that is a problem in this one. I think A.J. Brown will see a ton of targets, making for a very big day for him.
He is a monster. Yeah. When he wants to play, I've seen that huge games. He is a monster when he wants to play.
Yep.
I'm going to take another huge name receiver here in the show out category. One, the only Justin Jefferson. He had a bad game. He looked very upset.
He was.
Although that boy wears a lot of diamonds. Ever notice how many diamonds he has around his neck?
I had that conversation with myself, like, what's with all the jewelry?
Three, and they're not. And the ones in his ears, they're gigantic.
And they look perfect. They're like incredible.
They're like the ones that talk to you. Like that sparkly little guy. He's out there probably wearing. What do you think that is? $1 million worth of jewelry?
Easy.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. On the playing in it. And I said that exact same thing. Like, what is with the jewelry?
It was a lot of time. Because he looked all upset on it. Because he had a bad game. He looked all upset on the sidelines, And Darnold didn't feed him well either. Anyway, they just had a bad game together. I was like, I just couldn't take my eyes off. I was like, why is he wearing so many diamonds? Anyway, the bedazzled, jeweled one comes back and has a good game in the playoffs when it matters. The LA Rams secondary is not the greatest. And they haven't seen anything like this offense. So he'll get his comeuppance. And the big stars show up on the big stage, and this is the big stage.
Yeah.
Defense in the show. Who's the best defense of the weekend?
This is. I know I picked the Chargers to win, but I do like the Texans to have a good defensive showing.
Their
defense is playing well. So the Texans have had some struggles on the offensive side, especially that O-line. C.J. Stroud spent much of his season running for his life, but the Texans defensive unit is a tough one. I'm expecting a low-scoring defensive game in this one. The Texans have a top 3 overall defense and a top 3 secondary amongst teams that have made it and that have made it into the playoffs. So it would not surprise me if they even get a few scores. So I like them to show out in this one.
Yeah, and they're full capacity too. There's nobody missing or anything like that. That defense is good, and that game will. The 43 over under I think is high. I can certainly see that going under.
I think so too. I thought that was high when you said that.
Yeah, I could see it closer to 41, but hey, that's what Vegas does. All right, I took the Ravens. They split the season series, but dominated the game at home. I expect them to do the same here again. The secondary again is still vulnerable, like we've talked about. They're going to need a little help from their linebackers. George Pickens is off a little bit right now. Najee Harris is not my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, I like them to dominate at home again. And Russell Wilson have a good game. All right.